Hey, this is Matt once again with the Bets in that video, and this is a paid request for Eelco. Actually, one of two requests because they're part of the. I guess these were films shot back to back of the Three Musketeers in 2023. Part 1, D'Artagnan, and then Part 2, My Lady. But before I start, for those interested in requesting any type of videos, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. I do have a CashApp as well. PayPal is usually the best way to do it. If you have any type of review, thoughts, tier list, rankings, video game playthroughs, whatever the case, I'll get to as soon as I can. And this, again, the Three Musketeers, I never even knew these films existed in 2023. They came and went like nothing, at least in the US. But they were French films. Looks like they mostly got released in France. I don't know how these films did, box office wise or such. The Three Musketeers is just one of those things like Dracula and other stuff that they've done so many versions of them. They kind of wonder, do you really ever have to make a movie like of this ever again? Because I did like the Disney one from the 90s. I do. And I would still say, even after watching these two, the 1993 Disney one with Kiefer Sutherland, Charlie Sheen, Oliver Platt, that is still my favorite version of the Three Musketeers. I think the cast is a lot of fun. Chris O'Donnell is what he is, but the others are fun. Tim Curry is your villain. I even like the song at the end. All for one, and one for love. I still think that's the most fun one. But they've done so much. I know Paul Wild Stallions Anderson did one in like 2011, which I never saw. Wonder how Eelco thinks about that one. The Paul W. Anderson one. With Mila Jovovich. She's like an assassin, and there's you can watch the trailer. She's like dodging cannonballs, doing one of these Matrix moves, sliding across, like doing the Alice Resident Evil move. But I guarantee you, this is better than that one. Because this does take itself seriously. You could tell that the way the costumes are, the scope of it, they definitely want to take it a bit more of a epic feel to it. And again, they're definitely taking it more serious of a story. You know, the actors I didn't mind, but it's one of those that, at least this part one, that the story is so familiar, it feels like, even though I've never seen it before, it feels like I've seen it before. I don't know if that makes sense. And that's the thing when you're doing a story that's been told countless times. If you know about them, there's still this sense of familiarness that creeps up upon you. They just go, okay, yeah. Deja vu. Like, yes, you don't have D'Artagnan wanting to be a musketeer, and then he's going to bump into the three. Contract, they don't have a duel. Then he's ready for the duel. He realizes, oh my god, you three know each other and you're musketeers. And you don't do one after the other. And then before they fight, guards come upon them, and they don't work with each other to fight the guards. And it makes it as part of the Three Musketeers story. It's just, again, that sort of familiarity. For me, less is a bit of impact it could have, if that makes sense. Although I say that, and I still like this more than the second one. Because the second one felt like a whole bunch of nothing, honestly. But this one, I know that's weird how it looks. So D'Artagnan, like I say, he's on his way. It's in the rain. He tries to help this lady in a carriage who's in trouble, but she's such a moron. She doesn't know what's going on and shoots the guy. So then they take the letter from her. Later on, you find out she's been killed, and I'm like, that's what you did, you dumb bitch. You shot the guy who was trying to help you, you moron. They think he's dead. He wakes up. He's wounded. He goes into town. He talks to some people about wanting to be a musketeer. He sees one of the guys that try to kill him, and on the way getting there, he bumps into Athos, Porthos. He bumps to each one. Aramis bumps to each one of them, either going down the stairs or at a mess hall, and or trying to. Here's your white handkerchief. Insults, inadvertently insults him until ultimately they don't have a big old fight. And like I said, they usually don't have a duel before it starts. The guards come because dueling is against the law. And so they fight the guards. And I will say one thing I liked about this is with the fight scenes, which I actually thought this was the best scene in the movie. It kind of helps and hurt it. It's a really good scene, but it makes the last action scene seem very forgettable. I'm like, the last action scene is a very forgettable affair because this scene, like, really, it's all four of them fighting the guards, but they make it all look like it's done in one shot. So they're following one guy, and he's fighting and doing stuff, then following another guy, and then it goes back to this guy, then goes back to this guy. And then this guy's dueling this guy. Very impressed how they made it seem like one shot. I do like when they do that kind of gimmick. Obviously, you always look at, well, where did they hide the cut? But I think this is cool visual to make it look like one shot. Whether it be the Scott Adkins film one shot, whether it be 1917. I'm a sucker for that kind of gimmick. So I thought that was kind of cool to see. It was a fun action piece. I thought it was the best scene in the movie. Granted, it means they kind of blew their load a bit early, because the other action didn't seem as up to snuff with that one. And also, it seems like with these two, they try to put a bit of wokeness into it. Not in your face, but a little bit, where, like in this one, Porthos apparently is bi now. Because you see him in bed with a man and a woman. And I'm like, didn't they burn people and kill people who were gay because of the sodomy was against the law, for among other reasons? And that was the thing until like 1791. But even the second one says it takes place like 16 something. I'm just saying, for a movie that seems to want to be very much true to its time with the costumes and among other stuff. And it didn't really go anywhere as to why they made him bi. It's just, there's a scene where he's in bed with a man and a woman. Now you think, are they going to do something else with this? No. It just there. Again, I'm sitting there going, wasn't that illegal back in the day? Again, you'd be like burned to death and stuff. And then the second one, there's a musketeer who's black. I guess he's based on someone, a prince, I think. And then the milady's like almost like a damn girl boss with how good she is. And she's kind of the villain, but not really the villain, but she is kind of the villain. It's like, okay. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but it's not in your face, but it feels like they're trying to work a little bit of that into it. So what happens in the story, Vincent Cassel plays Athos, which I recognize him. He was in The Crimson Rivers with Jean Reno, which I like that film. And he's been in other stuff too. So I thought he did a good job as Athos. Sorry, I'm bad with pronouncing names. A dead woman's found in his bed. He's found guilty. But then they find out that the dead woman was the same woman that the guy tried to save earlier in the film. And listen to clues to clearing that guy's name. So they go from one place to the other looking for clues. While Athos, he is being transported, and his brother and these rebels are able to rescue him get him, and they want him to join. He doesn't, but his brother wants him to join the rebels. And then goes to this plot where apparently this queen, even though she's married to the king, she's also in love with this Duke of Buckingham, and then gave him her diamonds, which is a very stupid thing to do. Because lo and behold, the husband's like, hey, we're going to this wedding. I want to see those diamonds on you. If not, you're fucked. You're dead. So now they gotta get those diamonds back. But then the milady comes into play. And you found out that milady, she's working with the cardinal and the bad guys. Steals the necklace, the diamond necklace. Also, you find out that milady was the former wife to Vincent Cassel's character and the mother of his kid. Where it seemed like she died long ago, but then it just faked her death, whatever the case was, whatever the reason was. Which they make a part 2 and you don't even really find that out as to why that happened. Which is weird to have 2 fucking movies and not still know why the hell that all happened. They're trying to get the necklace. D'Artagnan and Athos meet in the woods. D'Artagnan chases milady to a cliff. She jumps off, seemingly to her death. But he's able to get the necklace. Returns it back to the queen. And then they have this bit where the wedding's happening and the rebels attack and they're helping the teen and fighting the bad guys. But this just seemed like a clusterfuck ending that didn't seem like there was any great fights. It's kind of like just messy choreography and even the way it's filmed. You think like this is the final big battle of the movie. This is your finale. It's gotta be a grand notion. Like the Disney movie. Where Chris O'Donnell is fighting the guy here and the Musketeers are chasing Tim Curry and... No, it's not really the case. Yeah, I would say it's probably the least interesting action piece in the movie is the finale. I don't know, it's just chaos. It wasn't good, it wasn't memorable. They get the traitors, they find out Athos is innocent, so they pardon him. The teen makes D'Artagnan a musketeer. Then he's walking around somewhere, he gets knocked out. His girlfriend is taken, and that's leading to part 2. I mean, I think the acting was fine. Vincent Cassel, the guy who plays D'Artagnan, I'd probably say I bought him more than Chris O'Donnell in the Disney movie. I'll say that. Because I thought he had a better look, better demeanor, more serious, more... I could buy him more as that character. Because I like the Disney one. Chris O'Donnell's one of those like, I could deal with them, but Like this D'Artagnan I like more. The costumes are nice. The where it's set, the castles, all that stuff, nicely built. I didn't notice too much off CGI. I'm not saying there's none, but wasn't as prominent as other films where I've been. The big fight scene the 4 have, I mean, again, it kind of blew his load early on, and the stuff afterward were not nearly as good. Like the finale I thought was really weak. I'm like, really? Like, that's it? Very anticlimactic it seemed. Just wasn't that memorable. And as is, I mean, did I hate the film? No. Would I ever watch it again? No. If you're a big diehard Three Musketeers fan of the story, I think you would at least appreciate that it, again, tries to take itself more serious. And Eelco said it was closer to the. I never read the source material, but Eelco, or requested, said it was more closer than other adaptations. I don't know. Was Porthos by in the adaptation in the original story? I don't know. But I did say again, if you're a diehard fan, at least you know it exists. For me, again, the story's just so familiar. It felt a lot of deja vu. Again, I thought it has one really good action scene. The rest are kind of there. Like the bit in the rain at the beginning where he's trying to save the girl and fighting them, that tries to look like one shot. But then, like, why don't you do that for the finale to make it look like one shot? I don't. They kind of abandoned that idea. It seemed like they were going to have each action scene look like it's all in one shot. But then, where it counts, the finale, they just forget about that idea. I don't know why. Thought that was really weird. But I mean, it's just there's other, like, if I want to watch this story, I could watch the Disney one or The Man in the Iron Mask, which I know is not the same story, but that deals with the Musketeers. That's why I bring it up. It's not this story, but I'd rather just go watch that one. Because I remember liking The Man in the Iron Mask for what it was. So I'd just rather watch that or the Disney one over this. But I mean, there's still some good to be had. But like I said, if you're a diehard fan of the story and you want to see another adaptation, I guarantee it's better than the Paul Wild Stallions Anderson one. But with that said, thanks for watching. Take care, and we'll see you guys later. Because I got to get to part 2 of this. See you in a bit.